Hello friends, full disclaimer, I am filming this holding my microphone today as opposed to wearing it because it doesn't want to stay clipped to my shirt. Also, there is a thunderstorm happening outside, so if you hear little rumbles, that's what's going on. The other day, I went to a coffee shop and I saw a sign that said 10% off your next order when you bring in a clean, reusable coffee cup. And I thought that was a great way to incentivize using less waste, which is important to me, and also saving money, which is also important to me. And then I thought, when was the last time I actually had a clean, reusable cup in my possession when I went to a coffee shop? And the answer was probably never. It would be wildly inconvenient for me to bring a clean coffee cup with me. And then that made me think about mission trips and how inconvenient mission trips are and how I often used excuses to justify not going on a mission trip or not donating to a missionary. And that made me realize that your conviction isn't always convenient. Hi, hello there. My name is Amanda. I am here to help you understand the Great Commission just a little bit better. And one of the ways that we're going to do that is by talking about the inconvenience of mission trips and how it is important to follow that conviction when the Lord convicts you of it. So let me just kind of tell you a little bit about my own story. I didn't go on my first international mission trip until I was 26 years old. I firmly believe that I was not called to be a missionary. My sister was a full-time missionary for nearly 9 years. And at that time, she was a missionary. She was like living in another country full-time doing mission work. And every single year, she would ask me to come on a mission trip to see what she did and then to kind of bring that back to America to tell other people about what they were doing. Every year, I said no. Every year I had a different excuse. I was in school. I was working full time. I didn't have enough money. I didn't have anyone to take care of my cat. Literally anything that I can think of, I said no to. It wasn't convenient for me to go on a mission trip. I was honestly scared to go on mission trips. And to be honest, I wasn't ready to be a living sacrifice. Okay, pause. What does living sacrifice mean? That's actually a phrase that comes from Romans chapter 12, verse 1. I'm actually going to read it for you. It's on my phone because my Bible is in another room. I'm really struggling today, but here we are. I really wanted to film this video. So this says, brothers and sisters, in the view of God's mercy, I urge you to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true worship. When I was younger, I wasn't ready to be that living sacrifice. Looking at what Paul wrote to the Romans, to be a living sacrifice is to just give up every part of yourself for him. Not just the good parts of yourself, but also dying to the bad, for lack of a better term, parts of yourself. It was less about the actual actions that you were doing and more about the heart behind it. And I was not ready. I absolutely was not ready to be that living sacrifice. So when I was 26 and I went on my first international mission trip and truly saw what being a living sacrifice looks like, it completely changed the way that I looked at the inconvenience of my mission trips. Was it ever convenient to go on a mission trip? No, it has never been convenient for me to go on a mission trip, and it will probably never be convenient for you to go on a mission trip either, because mission trips are never supposed to be convenient. They are supposed to line up in God's will and his timing, but they're not necessarily a convenient thing, because being a Christian, and especially a Great Commission Christian, that is not a convenient thing to do. Being convenient leads to complacency, and complacency will lead you to not actually living as a Christian, especially being a living sacrifice. And I do want to clear up what I mean by living sacrifice. We as Christians are called to be self-denying type of person. We want to push down those sinful tendencies, give them to God, not given to temptation, and live in a way that glorifies him and strive after the things that please God. You following God should not be devoid of joy. It means putting down those things that are directly against God and his mission. And God's mission is very clear. I say it so often, but it is the Great Commission, which is therefore go, baptize, teach, repeat. That is what we are called to do. So as you think about going on mission trips, it is not going to be convenient. It is not going to be something that you can just sign up and do without any pushback, without any forethought. It is something that you have to be intentional about. Just like at the very beginning of the video, I mentioned that you have to be intentional about bringing that coffee cup to a coffee shop. You have to be intentional about how you do your mission trips, which means they're inherently inconvenient. Because once again, intentionality is also not convenient. Just like your conviction to follow God is not convenient. Do you see what I'm getting at here? Do you kind of pick up what I'm saying? Christianity isn't convenient, and we should not be striving for the convenient way of doing life. We should be striving for the way that glorifies God. You will have moments of rest. You will have moments of peace. You will have moments of smooth sailing. That is something that will come with the ebbs and flows of life. We will have mountaintop moments where everything is good. We're also going to have the valley moments where everything is hard. And that is just the beautiful duality of life, but especially life when it comes to missions. Asking people for money is hard. Spiritually preparing yourself for a mission trip is hard. Preparing your family to leave is hard. Accepting that you are going to leave the life that you know and come back a different person can be hard. But just because it's hard does not mean it's something we should not do. Just because something is difficult does not mean we should not participate in it. There was never going to be a part of your Christian walk that is going to be necessarily easy. The gospel isn't easy. It's simple, but it's not easy, which means it's not convenient. But that helps us not to become complacent and instead be intentional. Okay, I know I said a lot of buzzwords, but truly, I really mean that when I say we should be striving to follow the convictions that God has placed on our heart, regardless of how inconvenient they are. And when you are genuinely seeking God and he genuinely calls you to go, which he's called all of us, but if he's called you somewhere specific to go, he will make a way. It's not gonna be easy or convenient, but it will be worth it because the Lord called you. He wants you to go. He wants you because you have a story. You have a specific purpose that the Lord has called you to, and he's going to equip you for the calling he's giving you. So don't worry about it, right? It's easier said than done. I get that. But seriously, when you are called and that conviction is placed in your heart, the Lord will pull you through that. He will help you. He will say, go, be the living sacrifice. Deny yourself the convenience of living for yourself and embrace the intentionality of living for me. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. It lets me know that you want to see more content like this. And consider subscribing because when you subscribe, I also have other videos about Bible journaling, more mission trip stuff, and things like that coming up. So I'd love you check those out if you'd like. Also, if you have a really cool story about how God pulled you through a inconvenient thing in your life, go ahead and leave those below, whether it's a small inconvenience or a large one. I just want to see how the Lord is working in your lives. And I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see y'all later. Bye.